say championships are won in November. November starts this Saturday. How important was it for your team to get a big win last week to get into November on a little bit of a high note?
Yeah, it was really big after a disappointing game the week before. Again, we found different ways how to lose, but was really happy with how we played. We were on the road. We had it was a Missouri Valley Conference football game, and those are all tough on the road. But this team was in the semifinals a year ago. Was a ranked opponent. Had an experienced quarterback, and it was really good to see. We were down a few guys. Everybody knows that, and it was good to see. We're never going to make those as an excuse, but I was very proud of the players that stepped in and stepped up on our team that they haven't played a ton up to this point, but been more of a support role, and I stepped up and made some big plays in that game, and our depth was tested. I was hoping it wouldn't be, but it was, and it did a good job Saturday. So I'm very proud of the team, but we moved on pretty quickly. On Sunday, we're about 3-4 days in this now, and we're getting ready for the next one. So.
You said the players that stepped up. So with the absence of Sopkowitz and Dylan Ward, leading not just the team but the game with most amount of receiving yards, what do you think that does for his confidence going into this weekend and the rest of the season?
That's a really good question, and there's more to that story, I think, than maybe you even realize. A year ago he was injured pretty badly, and you probably do know that, and had his actually break was a little worse than Brandon Smith's. I mean, Brandon's wasn't quite as bad as his, but similar. He's a receiver, and he's not a giant, big guy, and he relies on his legs and his foot speed to make plays. But I'm very proud of him and how hard he's worked to come back, and to turn into that kind of performance. And we needed him to do that. He's capable of that, and he's capable of doing that every week. And we needed him to do that, and that was great. And I've been very happy with Ryland Crawford the last all year, basically. Some of the things you haven't seen him do is on special teams is his effort and how he runs down on kicks. And he's been one of our best kickoff cover guys. And he used to play safety, so he has still that little bit in him. And he's a good tackler. He's tough, and he works hard. And he made some nice catches in the game as well, and has done a good job. And when Dan went down against Youngstown in a couple weeks ago, he did a good job in that game. He came in and did some good things and didn't bust on anything. And you can tell he's a more experienced player. He's had a lot of experience now with special teams, and he's played. And so he did a really nice job, I thought. So and Scotty Preston had another good game, 2 touchdowns, and he's. In my opinion, I think he's a fullback type. He's kind of playing a tight end position, but it's kind of a hybrid position. When an H-back is a fullback type of guy, and so I think he'll be. If there's, he's one of the better players, I think, from a skill standpoint at that position in our division, because I think he's a really good route runner, and he can catch, and he's got some toughness, and he's smart. So. I've been really happy with him. So all those guys have done a good job. We got some other guys doing good things too, and they did on the practice field, and maybe they haven't been targeted with the ball yet, but I think our young guys are getting better, and hopefully that keeps happening this weekend.
Confidence is such a fleeting thing during the course of the season, but do you guys?
It's a fleeting thing most of the day. Yeah. I think. The game like that gives you confidence. We've had some tough games defensively here in the recent, most of the year, particularly in the fourth quarter, not being able to finish games out, and we did some good things against Murray, but in the end, but I thought this game was the best. At the end, we finished the game strong and came up with big stops, and I think that was good. I think we had to have a game like this, and I like the way we played. I like the way we finished on both sides of the football, and we're able to, defensively do some good things. And so yes, I think our team is gaining momentum and gaining confidence. I don't know why you wouldn't, but it sure seems like it. And our workmanlike, lunch pail, hard hat, come to work every day attitude is really starting to come through. And 'cause I thought we had it wasn't a perfect practice today, but it was a grinding, tough, gritty practice, which is what you like on Tuesdays. And no one's complaining, just playing. And it wasn't perfect. Tuesdays usually aren't, and you don't want Tuesdays to be. You don't, like my old boss would say, Coach Cho would say, hey, you're not playing the game Tuesday. You play it at 2:00 on Saturdays. Just remember that. And that, and so, but you want your team to play with intensity and practice that way. And of course you want them to do that. But I've been very happy with the way they came out in practice today. So we'll see.
What do you see out of Northern Iowa?
Very typical team. I mean, they're long, big, physical. They show you a variety of different fronts defensively. They've done that in the past as well. Even though this is a new staff, like their offensive line's a big guys and tough, and typical Missouri Valley front. Like their quarterbacks, their quarterbacks are athletic and they throw the ball well. Backs are solid players, and they just got good players everywhere. I think they're a team that have played some people really, really tough, particularly on the road. So we'll have to play really well. They're punt block. They blocked 3 punts this year, and they blocked 2 in the game last Saturday against Southern Illinois, and they had a block earlier in the season against South Dakota State. So they really are good at blocking punts, and that's how they create some of their scores, not a lot, but some of their scores. So we'll have to be on top of our game, because they're very good at it.
Will it be strange not seeing Mark Farley across the sidelines?
Yeah, it'd be really weird. We're both linebackers, both linebacker coaches, both defensive coordinators, and been the head coaches in our league now. He left and left me hanging. I'm now the oldest guy in the league. I could point to him as being, hey, he's been here longer than me, but not anymore. He's out. But yeah, that'll be very strange. But good coach. I really like the guy, and he's gonna do a good job there.
Coach, you're talking before about Lord defensively. I thought you had a guy that was in that similar category in C.J. Richard. I thought he did a great job at 8 tackles.
You would say that being an old DB coach, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do like him a lot. Yeah, CJ, he's if you brought him in here and looked at him and said, wow, he's a good-looking kid. He's about 6'2" or maybe 6'3", all 200 pounds, 205 maybe, and runs well, and he's got a great personality. He's got $1 million smile, and he's very engaging, smart. It's just he's from the state of Texas. He's a Dallas kid. He's a really good. His high school football is big there, and he loves to play, and he's got an opportunity to play a little bit more here the last couple of weeks, and with Jack's injury. So, and he's done a really good job. He's still just a freshman. He's a redshirt freshman, so he's got a lot of football ahead of him. I think he's going to be a good one. He's not a great one, actually. I think he's just not quite there yet.
Right.
He's got some things he needs to get better at. He knows that, but he works that hard at it, and you can't get him down. That's what I love about him. You can try, but you can't get him down. He's gonna come out and have a good attitude every day, and work hard at it. And guys like that end up being really good players.
What about your other safety? I saw in their blue shirt today. Brown, is he going to be okay?
Black shirt. Yeah, that's just we don't want him or anybody else to hit him in contact. So yeah, he's had it all fall. We're just trying to keep him out. He's fine. He's actually better this week than he was last week. So we just want to kind of stay away from trying to make a lot of contact. So we put that on him.
Second
Because our black, our quarterbacks were black, so that means no contact.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I think the whole secondary played well for you Saturday. I liked them.
Yeah, I mean they played pretty well. You know, that wasn't perfect, but yeah, they played hard and they played well, and you know, and we got pressure, you know, on the
Right.
quarterback, which was good. They're not all going to be sacks, like I said after the game. You know that it's getting a quarterback off his platform and getting him uncomfortable, you know, in a bad throwing position, and that helps. That's even better sometimes. So.
Pressure is better sometimes.
Correct. Yeah, it is. So, but as long as the quarterback can feel the pressure, you know, that's good, and we're able to get to him a little bit more than we were a week ago, than the weeks prior, and that's been a priority, and it's good to see that come to fruition. So
Some of your power kids did good up front by getting pressure.
push, yeah, right?
Yeah, and
Against a good front too. But I'm gonna tell you, I think they're a really good Missouri Valley team up front on both sides of the football. They being South Dakota, I thought they had a good.
yeah.
That's one of the best looking teams I've seen at South Dakota. I mean, they're really good looking teams, and they're really, big physical guys. If you see them on the field, you mean, say, wow, this warming up was really nervous because they're a good looking team, and they look like a team that went to semifinals. So they got some guys. So.
They're fairly young too up there, I think.
I don't know. They had a couple guys get in the portal. I know that, and anytime you have a coaching change, that happens. But yeah, I thought some of the young guys were really good looking dudes.
Yeah.
Warming up. So I think they got a bright future.
Coach, anytime you go into any Dakota and come away with a win, you did a good job.
Yeah, I haven't seen a bad one yet.
No, you're right.
And
Kinda
yes,
fun.
unfortunately, but they're all good up there. There's quite a commitment to football, and you can see it. And they're their flagship, schools that are states, and that's cool for them. And yeah, they're good. You're gonna have to come ready to play. And that's anybody in our league really, because the team we play
You're right.
Saturday is no different. Even though they have Iowa State, Northern Iowa's gone into both those stadiums and beaten Iowa State. So they're a good football team. They have good looking cats. As you know, when you're a coach here, you know that. And
You're right.
and Youngstown isn't chopped liver. I mean, they have really good players as well. So you name a team, I don't care if they say Missouri Valley Football Conference on it. You better be aware.
They got a great reputation, and it's really, really good to see, and they're sure holding it up, and the whole league is.
Yeah, they are. And there's a lot of good coaches and really good guys. So it's been a lot of good young guys out there.
Coach, going back to the youth that was playing, are you at the point of this? I know their injuries may necessitate some of them playing, but do you feel like you're more confident in their ability to play and they know what to do now at this stage?
Really good question. I've commented a couple times, and you may have picked it up, maybe not, but I think you have. Because I know you're really smart. Yeah, you are. Experienced reporters in here. We've worked with we always work with our younger guys and certain days, but every day we have a rack. We call them racks of plays. They're sets of 4 or 3 or 5. How many sets we're going to play? We always have our 3s and 4s go in for sets in our good on good sessions, team, just to work on getting guys involved in hearing, because they're so used to this time of year, they're so used to running somebody else's offense and defense because they're your scout team players. Right. We want to run our offense and defense, and so we put it in there, and so it's kind of paying off now. I think and you might see some younger guys play that haven't played yet. That will be. We only have 4. We have 4 games left. You can play 4, and then you can. The postseason doesn't count. So you may see some young players play for us that haven't played yet, and so those guys are. Let's put it this way: they are available if we want to, and if we can play them, we will, and that helps our depth, but yeah, they've been picking away at it, with training camp, and then what we've done all fall, and and running our base stuff in practice, every Tuesday and Wednesday. I think that's really helped them. So
Because I think it helped Saturday, just up front defensively, you were able to maintain your pass rush even into the fourth quarter, where I don't think that was the case against Youngstown State.
well, that's true, but we haven't played anybody differently there. It's the same group of guys, but we have about 12 to 14 guys maybe that play up front and on defense that we've used, maybe 15, I can't remember, but we do. But I think those younger guys now, like you said, have got a lot of game experience, and they've taken their lumps a few times, and you have to do. That's part of the process of becoming a college football player and becoming a great athlete or becoming great whatever. You have to have experience, and they're getting more experience, and they're more veteran players, I guess, and that helps like you said, our older guys who are more experienced. It helps them during this time of year where you need a push at the end of the game to get over the hump to win. That helps, and I think that's been a big issue, and that hasn't been an issue, but a really good thing for us. Yeah.
Along that line, what I'd like to see, if I saw some of your seniors coaching some of those young guys, trying to help them. I saw Pope doing it today. I saw Dan coaching the hell out of the wide receiver, a couple wide receivers on Saturday. That's just tremendous to see.
Yeah, we have really good players, really good people, and really good kids. And they're not kids, or they think they're grown men, not quite there yet, but most of them are getting there, and they're really good leadership. There's really good leadership on this team, and there's accountability, and that's what you have to take ownership. This is our team, and the older guys have done a good job with that. And Pope, and you mentioned Dan, and I know Tommy's coaching up the young quarterbacks all the time. Especially because you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have that throughout our team. We had a defensive lineman last week, and we had a young guy just kind of get abused during an inside run drill, and he was in his ear, "Hey, you got to make a decision." Basically like, you got to make a decision, bro. And it was just like that direct and that loud. It wasn't very loud, but he looked at it, "You got to make a decision now. You can't go out there and do that." And because that's going to get us beat, and it's not going to get you on the field. It was pretty impressive, and because all of a sudden I didn't have to do it. And I'm always a bad guy, and sometimes the position coach is a bad guy, but I'm always a bad guy. And, so
Turn out the old man.
yeah, always got. I'm never. Yeah, ask Coach Farley how much fun he had. Yeah, you're never. It's like, you're always the bad guy. But anyways, that helps, when you get players like that. And I'm very happy. I'm very proud of them, and hopefully that continues, and hopefully that helps us, keep getting better. So, and it just means more, when it comes from a peer. When a peer looks at you and says, "Hey, that's not good enough now. You're better than that, and or you got this, and this to help us win." I mean, you're going on the field to win, we can't have you doing that, so and it happens to everybody. All of us have been football players. We've all been down that road. We've all been knocked on our butts a few times. So that's the great thing about our sport. You just got to dust yourself off and put your hand in the dirt and get ready to play again. Play the next play. Forget about it. Move on.
Gotten better and better every week, and you hit all phases of the game you kept talking about all year. Well, you played very well in all phases Saturday. If you keep that up the rest of the way, we're looking forward to this thing.
Well, let's see if we can do it 2 weeks in a row. That'd be really good. But
I know.
yeah, easy, big boys.
Anything else, Coach?
Anything else? All right. Thank you very much.